Hello everyone, I'm CJ, and today I'm going to be trying to do all my homework for the week in one day. It's almost 7, and when it's 7, I will take my attendance. Right now, I am sitting here with Study Hamster, who is trying to eat my headphones. Don't eat my headphones. There's nowhere to go, stupid. Hey. Hi, this is future CJ that is editing this at the moment. It is past Halloween week and homework and everything has been a little bit crazy, but I managed to get everything turned in on time. But the main thing is that school is going fully online next week, which is weird. And I mean like next week is in like the Monday after I post this next week. And that's very weird because I'm going to go from having about an hour of Zooms to about 3 hours of Zooms. And normally my homework is usually done around like noon, like for the day. So that's gonna be weird to suddenly have Zooms from 9 to noon, and school's gonna take up a lot more time than I'm used to. So that's something I'm kind of spinning on and don't really know how to process. So I'm thinking about that. I'm trying to get my life sorted out. I'm trying to get better about not wasting time so much, because I do have hours and hours every day that just kind of get lost to the void. It's not even that I'm like wasting time like actively doing something fun. Like, it's not like I'm wasting time like playing video games. It's like I'm wasting time just like staring at a homework assignment because I can't work up the ability to actually do it. So I'm working on that as well. I deleted some distracting apps on my phone, so right now, the really only thing I can do on my phone that's offline if I have like downtime is editing, which I actually kind of enjoy it. So that's a plus, is it is actually a fun activity and it's a productive thing as well. So it's kind of a double whammy of I get to do something that's fun and distracting and I can just flow and just do it for hours and have a fun product at the end that is actually something productive and actually something that's like a creative project that I'm putting out into the world. So that's a fun thing. Recently, it feels like teachers have just been yeeting homework at us with no respect for the rest of our lives. And I think a lot of teachers I think they realize but don't acknowledge the fact that their class is not our only class and it's not the only thing in our lives that we find important. And school is not the only thing in our lives we find important. So it feels like it's just kind of like, oh yeah, here's like a couple of my teachers, this has happened multiple times now, have scheduled and made us take tests on days that we have off. Like one of my teachers gave us a test on Friday of MEA. And that line is bored even more with digital learning, where there's just no respect for our personal time and our personal lives. And in a way, they can afford to do that because we have a lot more flexibility with school. But it's also kind of like, no, you can't make a test due on Saturday and posted on Saturday. You can't do that. Having said all that, I'm also trying to do better on school because I've kind of like, not gonna lie, I've kind of just been like skating by with just like getting everything done even if I don't understand it. And as irritated as I get when teachers say like, you're not doing this to complete the assignment, you're doing this to learn. Because a lot of my classes I don't really care about on a fundamental level because they're not what I want to do with my life and my career and whatnot. It's like, I don't care about literature because I'm like bad at it and I'm not interested in it and it's not something I want to do. But they do have a point. There are some classes where I am just getting my future self in trouble because I am not being careful about doing the assignments and not making sure I actually understand things. I'm just kind of skating by trying to get them done. I'm here with like wet hair and pajamas and retainer and all. Because for me, on the quarter system, it's midterms, which means school's kind of crazy. Now, what I could do if I was a smart person is I could stay up later and do a bunch of homework. I did do some stuff. I got my gym done and like half of my English done, so that counts for something. Life is weird. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you don't have to worry about as a teenager. But I think people also underestimate how stressful school and stuff can be. School is just such a weird factor because it's very, very valued in our society. It's like insanely valued. It's like the like top thing is like, you know, like get good grades, go to a good college, get a good job, have a good life. And that can cause a lot of anxiety on both ends of the spectrum. Both to your below average students, like kids who are not academically inclined, it causes a ton of stress to them of like, are they gonna pass? And to your honors, like your honors, like all A's all the time kids, it causes a lot of stress of, am I gonna get into like the college I want to, or so I can like do the major I want to, or do the job I want to. And it's like it causes stress all around. And I don't know, part of me feels like the teachers are bluffing. It's kind of like in elementary school. They're like, they're not going to tolerate this in middle school. And then in middle school, they said, they're not going to tolerate this in high school. And then now in high school, they're saying, they're not going to tolerate this in college. And I don't really believe it, to be honest. That's something I've gotten a lot better at conquering. I'm still far from perfect. I'm far from even, like, good at managing it. But the, like, stupid anxiety things, you ever get that? Like put it in the comments or something. Like that weird anxiety of like, oh, this one thing went wrong and therefore my entire life is going to crumble before me. That's a fun feeling. I think it's normal to have these kind of anxieties of I've gotten better at like recognizing like this is irrational. I was joking with my dad about like metacognition. It's like, what is like metacognition? Of like when you're trying to think about how you think, and so how you can act now to put your future self in a better situation for making decisions, because this is something that I think a lot of us ignore, and it's very easy to ignore. Our future selves are not really better than our current self. We think that if we don't have the strength to do it now, we'll have the strength to do it later, which sometimes is 100% true. I've definitely had, like, for me it happens with homework, of like, you ever, like, sometimes you get in the flow, like, sometimes you're just like, yeah, like, let's, like, do, you know, like, chemistry for, like, 3 hours, like, this is great, and sometimes you just get stuck in a rut where you, like, stare at the same problem, and you're like, I don't understand this, I don't, or, like, you understand it, but you don't get it, and I don't know why. I don't know why occasionally I just run out of like brain juice and then it's like CJ.X has stopped working. But what you're gonna do? Life is crazy, and the best we can do is the best we can do. And there's no point in like comparing. We need to be careful about formulating our future selves and what we want to be. So everyone's different, and it's kind of the whole like fish climbing a tree thing. Like there's no magic solution. Like personally, I hate SMART goals. I think they're the dumbest thing, because a lot of good goals in life are not measurable. Like be a kinder person. You cannot measure that. That's kind of weird to think about, but life is crazy. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It is weird of the whole like stereotypical like teenage party of just kind of like, oh, like what are you doing like late at night? It's like probably drinking way more Capri Sun than we should. She'll find that funny. No one else will get that. Yeah, to the people who think like the teenage stereotype of like all teenagers are like bad influences, like no. To be fair, I don't really feel like a teenager. I feel like I think I felt more grown up in like 8th grade than I do now. Let's try stuff and see how it goes. And life is crazy. Life is so crazy. Like, life is so crazy nowadays. That's another procrastinating factor of just being like, well, like right now I'm procrastinating like this week's homework and being like, well, school's gonna go all online anyway because of the thing. And so, you know, like, it's like that's a dumb excuse. Like I'm gonna have 4 hours of Zooms anyway. Might as well get it done now. But it's hard not to. So to To all of you teenagers out there, I feel your pain. I think a lot of like parents, especially when you get to like your grandparents, don't realize the pressures that are put on school right now. And also, there's the relativity of everything. Everything that happens in like school is kind of like the end of the world. Like to me, like failing a test is like the end of the world to me. It's like, oh no, and it's like I don't know what it'll be like in a year. A couple years ago, it used to be like getting a B in a class would be the end of the world, um, and now it's just like that's okay. Like calc is a hard class. It's fine. So who knows? Like what's the end of the world changes based on relativity. Um, how many apocalypses have I lived through so far? 2020 as a whole. I should probably actually go to sleep. This is nighttime CJ signing out. I'm back. So, I did. Look at you. You're adorable, you know that, right? Right, also? Right, also? Look. That's that, and I'll try and get some sleep.